Where reality comes to play, the Perception Theory podcast, triggering the woke little snowflakes in 3, 2, 1.
How dare you disrespect me, your country, and your mama?
Get ready to have some reason and common sense hammered into your pathetically thick skulls. Here are Evil Ed and Uncle Reap, your hosts for the Perception Theory podcast.
Hello, hello.
What's up, guys and gals? If there's any gals out there, welcome again.
Welcome back. Wow, what an exciting 2 weeks, huh? A lot going on.
A lot going on.
A lot going on.
And it's funny that it's almost wish we could do this every week because there's so much that happens,
Right.
just one after the other, that we would definitely like. You miss news cycles.
Right. Yeah, because we'll come up with an idea and then it's like 2 days later something else happened and like, all right, well, let's scratch the first idea and let's go with this go with the second one. So yeah, we need to think about that.
We need to think about that. A lot of stuff going on. So I just, even though this isn't the platform for which I do advertisement, but I'm going to have advertised a little bit. So a lot of stuff happening. Well, first of all, for this show, or get that skank off of there. So, whoops. Oh my God. Where was it? The pictures. Oh, I got locked down. That's why it's not moving. So our first, excuse me, our first podcast for Life Lessons with the Neanderthal came out last Thursday morning.
Correct.
So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, please check that out. I mean, even if you don't like this show, which I could probably see why.
No.
Check, or if this one doesn't really, tickle your fancy, whatever, check this one out. We had a really good conversation on not just about men's feelings, men can't feel, but like, how is it in society when men share that, and
Right.
or is it it's not even we talked about that, but it's not even so much society as it is the people in your own life,
Right.
which is where you get kind of a lot of
Absolutely.
shit from.
Yeah, you would think your closer people would be closer.
But unfortunately, that's where you're getting a lot of your shit from. You catch a lot of shit from.
Right.
So anyway, we will be recording another one today, which will come out. You just want to keep Thursday.
Yeah.
So we'll come out this coming Thursday morning. So please check that out. What is today though? What are we doing again today on the Neanderthal?
Oh, it's the difference between how men and how women think.
Yeah. So the processes and then, that kind of stuff. So we're going to be talking about that. Ed's going to be leading that conversation, and we'll have a lot to talk about on that one.
Yeah, and there is science behind it too. So it's not just two knuckleheads bashing women, which is not the case at all.
Yeah. Because we're both married. You don't be bashing shit.
Yeah, we'll get bashed.
That's right.
What is 2x4?
2x4 beside the dome.
The cranial cavity.
So make sure you're checking those out, and you can get those now everywhere. If you want to watch us, you can watch us on Rumble or YouTube. We have all those channels. So maybe we'll probably get rid of some of this. Well, no. We'll just have to put it in the comments. So I'll just make that as a default.
Okay.
When stuff comes up, that we'll have those links.
Okay.
And so check that out. Because we get into a lot of cool stuff.
Absolutely.
So if you happen to follow Reap the Light as far as the metal band, we got a lot of stuff coming. We got a lot of stuff going on. We have a new song coming out. It's our song, the last song for the 7 Deadly Sins album, which is Lust, and then probably that should be coming out probably towards the end of this month. And then probably a month or two after that, the whole album in its entirety will be released as an album which has the narration, has a bunch of narrations, which gives you the story behind the album and
cool.
the songs. So that'll be coming out. So we have that. Also another project, Crown of Chaos. We are actually working on our first song, which is called "Welcome the Apocalypse." Little more aggressive, and so forth and so on. Just a little bit. We're gonna have a lot of Melanie is still singing on it, but I will be doing the growls and the screams, and so it's gonna be kind of intertwined. So check that out. And like I said, the music's a little more aggressive. And then last but not least, I have a collaboration I'm doing. I won't reveal who with at this point, but it's a singer from another band, and we're doing a collaboration together. And this, I will just tell you, the song's called "Escape the Suffering," and that will I don't know when that's going to come out. She just has received the song. She's looking through it, working on some of the melodies and so forth and so on. So that would be coming out here probably within the next handful of months as well, too.
What else you got going on? You got a book, right?
Got a book I'm working on, trying to get that thing fit. I'm working on like 2 or 3 books. But it's just the time, man. I need to quit my job. That's what I need to do. But I'm finishing up the last book in at least the last for now, for a while, in the Light Reaper series. So I'm finishing that book. That's the 5th book, and it will be the last for probably quite a while.
Probably about a month.
Yep. Yeah, we didn't know.
Not like you've got time to do anything else.
Yeah, no. So that'll be the last one for a while, and I'm also working on a fantasy type book. Yeah.
Just a little bit going on.
Just not enough time in the day, my friend.
And we got some cool swag.
And cool swag, yes. Make sure you check out the new swag. So actually, so that's the Reap the Light hat. They've got the new hats. You can see they're stitched. So very nice. And we also are going to be cranking out some Crown of Chaos merchandise on the same merch site too. So check that out. And that's a completely different logo. Crown of Chaos. So check that out.
Cool stuff.
Cool stuff. So that's a lot. Really didn't mean to take up much time.
That's all right.
With it. So today we are going to highlight one of our favorite skanks of all time.
I never used the word skank until I started. When I met you, it's such a versatile word. It's so provocative.
It is. It's because skanks. And so we're going to be talking about this skank.
Oh, Joy.
Joy Reid. If you don't know who Joy Reid is,
You will.
you will. Joy Reid was, what would you call her? She's not an anchor. I guess she's a commentator or,
Well, she had her own show.
yeah. She's like Rachel Madcow, where she kind of she spews a bunch of bullshit. This week she has unceremoniously been whacked.
Goodbye.
Which I don't. Well, if you ask me, she shouldn't have had a show to begin with. But even then, she shouldn't have lasted this long. And we're gonna go over this, and you're gonna hear it from her own mouth. She is probably one of the most. I mean, to me, she almost makes The View look like a conservative freaking think tank.
Right.
She's racist. She's homophobic. She is what else you want to call it?
We can call it a
misogynist. Whatever you name it, she's it. And we're gonna go over just a few things. Just some of her wildest claims. And she has uttered so much bullshit that are absolute lies, that are completely untrue. It's amazing that she has lasted this long.
So I agree that everybody has a right to their opinion, which is fine. But with that being said, you should be open-minded enough to listen to someone else's opinion, but not jam it down their throat to the point where, the conversation isn't going to end until you say, yes, I agree with everything that you say. So,
right.
Yeah.
And it's fine to have an opinion. Everybody can have an opinion, but when you're stating complete lies, and you'll see, we'll go over them, and we got video clips of her saying this shit. When you utter outright lies, I mean, that's where you take it too far. And just because you have a platform and you feel that it is your right or whatever that you could just spew bullshit just because you have a platform,
Right.
that's bullshit. All right. Now, granted, let's compare that to what we do. All right, we have an opinion, and we do exercise those opinions on the show all the time. Well, that's what our show's about. But I will tell you, and Ed will tell you, everything that we do on here, we research the shit out of it. And we have references, we research everything, and not just one outlet. Like, oh, well, yeah, y'all do research, but you get all your shit from Fox or something like that. No. Actually, we don't have to do a whole lot of research in the simple fact that the stuff that we bring up is stuff that you could find even on liberal media because they spout it out of their own mouth.
Right.
I'm like,
there's always three sides to every story.
So, let's talk about Miss Reid here. So one of the first things we're going to talk about with Miss Reid is the fact that she is homophobic. Now, she will tell you she's not, and that she is the voice of the voiceless, and that she is the voice of those that are underrepresented. But it came out in 2017 where she had a series of homophobic posts on her personal blog, The Reid Report.
That were mysteriously removed.
Yes. Where she talks about disgust about men kissing, sprout off against gay marriage, linked homosexuality to attraction to minors, and then she later claimed that she was hacked. So let's roll that footage, and then we can discuss it afterwards. So let's see. Here we go with the tweets. Tweet. Go ahead, Joy.
I genuinely do not believe I wrote those hateful things because they are completely alien to me. But I can definitely understand, based on things I have tweeted and have written in the past, why some people don't believe me.
Let's hit that one more time because I was like dicking around.
I genuinely do not believe I wrote those hateful things because they are completely alien to me. But I can definitely understand, based on things I have tweeted and have written in the past, why some people don't believe me.
I didn't do it, but I could understand why you would think I did.
Because I've tweeted stuff in the past that would... Well, first of all, she says, I don't remember.
Yeah.
So, okay,
plausible deniability.
Yeah. Either you sent them or you didn't.
Right. We only remember the good things that we do, not the controversial things that we do. Selective thinking.
Oh, did you say that was good? And they said, oh, yeah, I said that. Well, how about when you said this was, when they're homophobic? Oh, no, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, I don't recall it.
Either you did or you didn't. That's my thing. And the fact that she doesn't deny that she said it. She says, I don't remember that because that's not who I am.
Right.
Well, it is, and that's what. And no, you weren't hacked. These were your tweets.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is they had a, what do you call it? Maybe like an assistant or a producer back when that came out and was interviewed, and she goes, yeah, those came from her. So,
it's damn Russian hackers. Got her again.
So, Miss Reid, you're number one. So then again, you're full of shit. As we know, I just want to make sure we're on, which I do believe we are, but you know what? I like to check just to make sure.
And while you're checking, I'm going to have another
beef stew. Oh, yep. Look, there we are. Not just about men's feelings, men can't feel, but like
men can't feel.
That's right. Okay. So next, Reid accused President Trump of radicalizing his supporters similarly to how we talk about the way Muslims act. The strange wording even prompted follow lefty and squad member Ilhan Omar, which don't get me started on her skank ass. She's another skank, to accuse the host of Islamophobia. Oh, there's a fight within the ranks and stuff. Oh, hey, Mega Dog, what's up?
Actually, you know what? I think we're going to create a drinking game specifically for this show. Every time you say skank, you take a shot.
There you go.
I don't know of what, but you take a shot.
You'll be drunk within 20 minutes.
First 15 minutes of the show.
But Omar's another skank who's full of shit. And how the hell she even got cleared to even be I guess you really don't have to go through anything. You just got to be elected.
True.
So,
True.
yeah. So, yeah. You want to take a couple there? Or do you want me to run with it? Or what do you want to do?
So in March of 2021, Reid claimed conservatives would trade tax cuts for the ability to openly say the N-word, claiming they felt oppressed because they couldn't be openly racist. That's the pot calling the kettle black.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. It's amazing how that works. We're going to trade taxes so we can now be vilified for saying the N-word.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is, there's many funny things. Okay, even if for some reason we were able to pass something that allowed us to say the N-word without any repercussions, nobody would say it. Okay, you jackass. Skank. There, drink again. Nobody would say it, even if there's no need to say it. There's no reason to say it. Why would we say it? For what reason? We're gonna tax cuts so we can say the N-word.
Yeah.
What does the N-word have to do with saving money?
Well, what does it have to do with taxes?
You're an idiot. And yes, that is a woman, in case you're wondering, because I've questioned that myself. I don't know how many times.
Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. All right. So then we've got January of 2022. Reid called for anyone not vaccinated against COVID-19 to be taxed or fined, and that sick pay for unvaccinated should be revoked. Wow. And what I find another funny thing about this, especially being was it January of 2022? Now we found out through the CDC and the World Health Organization that which Trump now does not want to no longer be a part of, and I can see why, because they're the ones that kind of covered up the whole COVID shit from China anyway. So we've found out that number one, they found out the 6 feet was bullshit. They found out that the masks were bullshit. They found out that the vaccination didn't do what they said it was going to do. But however, we did have quite a few congressmen and women who had invested in Pfizer and Moderna, strangely enough. And so therefore, we're just going to continue to spread that stuff. And when people started to say, no, this isn't, including doctors, well, if you saw the congressional hearings, you find out that the Biden administration worked with Twitter before Musk got a hold of it, and Facebook to remove those tweets. That where these doctors were saying, okay, this vaccine isn't doing what they say it's going to do, and it doesn't prevent you from getting it, which they said it did. And then they get the booster, and they're like, well, that's going to prevent you. And the doctors came out and said, no, it does not. I got COVID both times. I got that damn thing.
Yeah. And so, what I find kind of funny about this whole thing, which is not funny because I know people have died from it and this and the other, but the fact that the flu kills 80 to 100,000 people a year, and the flu's no big deal. I mean, I know we have flu vaccines in this, but we don't make it a. They didn't make it a global pandemic and this, that, and the other. Even though we're dropping 100,000,
Right.
We'll just say between 8 and 90,000 people a year we're dropping.
Right. Right. Yeah, the new flu sucks. I got it last week.
And
I would much rather have COVID than go through that again.
That's bad.
That was bad.
And the funny thing is when I was in the military and they made us get the flu vaccine every year, it was mandatory that you had to get it.
So what happens if you were like, nah, not doing it?
I don't know anybody that did.
End up in.
I don't know anybody that did refuse it. I don't know. But I got it, and I got the flu every effing year. Now, I've been out of the military for, 15 years, give or take, or whatever. I've never taken the flu vaccine since I've been out. I've got the flu maybe twice, maybe.
Really?
In 15 years.
Huh. I take it every year. Yeah, it's bad. I get the flu shot every year, I guess, because I feel guilty.
Yeah.
And then every year I get the flu, and I keep saying, you know what, next year I'm not doing this shit. Well, I did it this year twice, and it still got me. So
yeah. So I haven't taken the flu vaccine since I've been out of the military, and when I was a contractor, you had to do it. It was just part of the whatever the hell. Which is kind of crazy because we have to take the gamma globin and all the other extra shit you do when you go overseas. You have to take this whole series of inoculations and shit. Gamma globin is where they put it right in your butt, and then they push it, and then it goes. It dissolves. It kind of dissipates slowly and goes into your system. Whatever. It's supposed to be for I think it was like for malaria or something else. But I get like a big old ball right there, and it's sore as shit. And then people come up, then your boys will come up there and punch you.
Oh man,
punch you right in that.
That's
right
a throat punch.
Lump.
Oh
yeah, stupid. That's men. We do stupid shit,
which we'll explain on our next show.
Yeah. April 2022. Former NFL player Jack Brewer threatened to sue Reid for defamation after she linked children involved in his charity program who attended the signing of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' Stop Woke bill. She compared that to child abuse and accused him of child abuse by taking him to some of his kids wanted to go watch the signing. So he sued her for defamation.
Wow. Real piece of work.
And like we've always said, that diminishes or cheapens when you do have a child abuse situation. Then it's like whatever, because you've cried wolf so many times.
Right.
So as far as I'm concerned, she's endangering kids' lives who are being abused.
Right. November 2022, just in time for Thanksgiving, Reid linked the holiday to slavery for good measure. That's why everything is closed on Thanksgiving, to celebrate slavery.
I mean,
but the scary part about it is there are people out there that agree with that.
And that listen to her.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like her word is gospel. The sad part about it is, though, is that she's, just because she's not working for MSNBC anymore doesn't mean the fact that she's never going to work again. I'm sure there's people chomping at the bit trying to get a hold of her to come on.
I bet she pops up at CNN.
Oh, God.
You watch.
Yeah, let's kill those ratings.
She's such a piece of shit.
Skank. Oh, that's 6.
Skank.
July 6th of 2023. Reid claimed she was too scared to leave her house on July 4th because America is a wash. Baltimoreese, gotta love that R that slips in there. With guns, and the Americans seem to want to shoot people with them and use them for whatever, you know?
Yeah. She's scared to go out on the 4th of July because she's afraid she's going to be shot by a bunch of crazy Americans.
Well, I guess my question with that is, let's look at the actual percentages of who has the most incarcerations, white people or the black people?
And who's actually been convicted of more shootings than anybody? But but here's the thing though. See, she's gonna say that she can't really reference anything in the black communities because she doesn't live in a black community.
Right.
She lives in a literally white community, which I find funny that they like you get people like her, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, what's that guy named Roland, whatever his name is. There's so many people that want to talk about racism and how white America is racist, but yet none of them all of them live in white neighborhoods. They shop in white neighborhoods. They dine in white neighborhoods and this, that, and the other, but yet white America is racist.
Right. But it's funny.
But they want to surround themselves with them.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact is, it's funny how, these men and women that you just said, they are, oh, racism, but they're the ones that are actually the most racist.
Correct. And guess you know who, and I can't remember her name. You know who else you could put in that category?
Who's that?
Is the leader of Black Lives Matter.
Oh my God, yeah, the bankrupt.
Yeah, she does not even live in a black neighborhood. She has a $12 million mansion. Had well, yeah, they went back, but she had a $12 million mansion, and believe me, that wasn't in the hood. That wasn't in Harlem or downtown Chicago, whatever. That was in a white neighborhood. But yet they're racist. So then, why you want to live among a bunch of racists?
Right.
You're so full of shit. You make me want to slap the shit out of you. Responding to Trump's victory at the Iowa caucuses, Reid condemned the white Christians who support him, claiming that they want non-whites to bow down to them.
I thought Christians had like all races, colors, and creeds. I didn't think that Christians, it was a white only membership.
She said white Christian. So I guess that's a secret club within the Christians.
I guess so.
So here's her talking about white conservatives and stuff, and it's like, and again, she's right on the news. And I remember I got to bring this up a little bit so it's not behind everything.
None of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
I know I do, because that's come out of my mouth at least 50 times.
Oh, absolutely.
What the fuck is she talking about? Nobody's... Again. But again, here's the thing. Joy Reid has to do this the same as Al Sharpton, because that keeps them relative, at least in their own little warped circles, and it keeps them employed. That's really. It's not so much even the relevancy. It's the fact that that's how they make their money. They have to keep the race bullshit going, or else they don't have a platform.
Yeah. And by the way, these people get paid pretty fat.
You know how much she makes, or did make?
It's only what, 8 to 10?
Yeah.
8 to 10 million.
She started off right off the bat making $3 million.
Right.
And I don't even know where the hell that, like, what qualifications, experience, or whatever did you do? Hey, I tell you what, throw me in that. We'll split the three.
Oh yeah.
We'll go with 1.5 apiece, and I guarantee we'll be more entertaining,
and we'll piss less people off,
and we'll be more informative than that skank. Drink again. I saw the boys, Rodri and Ridge, over at Eric Clark's. Who's Eric Clark? You have to explain that to me there, Megan. I don't know who Eric Clark is. Maybe I should.
Maybe you should.
I don't know who Eric Clark is. So, yeah, tell me who that is.
All right. So what do we have? July 2024. Days after the first, I remember this one. Days after the first assassination attempt against President Trump, Reid suggested the shooting amounted to him bearing the quote-unquote consequences of promoting political violence. Yeah.
So every old DJ in Nashville. Oh, I guess you say it because they're not here. Gotcha. Old DJ in Nashville, huh? Really?
I'll have to look him up.
Is it? I could be assuming wrong, but I'm assuming if he's in Nashville, that it's country music. I could be wrong because if he's an old DJ, I'm assuming it's going to be country.
I'm thinking more of like maybe hip hop music.
Really?
Old school.
You really think Rodri's old ass is over there listening to hip hop?
Hey,
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong. What would you just finish? Oh, I'm sorry.
I did the
consequences. So anytime somebody's stabbed or shot or killed or ran over or this, that, and the other, it's their fault. Because that's basically what she's alluding this to. That it's his fault that he got the assassination attempt. Oh, think 80s rock. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I can see Roger going 80s rock. That I could see. Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not better than this, but anyway. So what is he doing? Is he just? Does he have? I'm assuming he has a show. What is he doing? Does he do does he play music and then talk about, does he play like 80s music and then talk about the 80s music? Is that what he does? Just curious. Reid said black people would look really weird and lonely for not voting for former Vice President Kamala Harris in the November election that year. Well, obviously, she took a page out of Barack Obama's book.
Right.
Said, you ain't, or Biden when he says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Right. Yeah. And then you wonder why black people voted for Donald Trump. And we brought this up before in a previous podcast, is the fact that there were so many people that voted for Trump. Not all of them were voting for Trump. They were voting against Kamala Harris.
Which is really what the previous election really was.
Right.
There was a bunch of people that were not voting for Biden, but they were voting against Trump. Which I think obviously is a stupid-ass way to vote, but hey, you do what you do, and...
Well, that worked out real well.
Sure did. Yeah, that turned out to be a real wing dinger.
So this one is one of my favorites here. July of 2024, Reid said she would vote for Biden even if he was, quote-unquote, in a coma, and called voting against Trump a vote to, quote-unquote, keep Hitler out of the White House.
Well, number one, you did vote for somebody in a coma.
Sorry.
And number two, no, that's not Trump. But let's go to the footage where she's comparing Trump to Hitler and the situation in the U.S. at the time. She compared that to the Holocaust. What a skank. Here we go.
Happen, and that could never happen again.
Defeating the Jews of Europe, who they viewed as subhuman, was a question of good conquering evil, which conditioned millions of Germans to celebrate Hitler and turn a blind eye to his brutality. If that sounds vaguely familiar, that's because it is. Similarities to what happened in Germany and what's happening now in America are just undeniable.
So the reason that the Germans celebrated Adolf Hitler was because they had no choice. You were either in or you're dead.
Yep. And obviously Hitler, and I'm not saying he was against the Jews, but he was a nationalist. Now, one of the obviously ways that he, I guess touted that or proved his nationalist was to kill the Jews. Now, the Jews were just as much Germans as the other ones were. Now, what that had to do with being nationalist, I don't know.
That's like white Americans.
Yeah, we don't want the blacks, and stuff, and we're like Nazis. It's like, how do you? But the fact that, but again, if I'm a Jew, and you're comparing Trump to Hitler, if I live through that, and you're comparing what America's like now, and you're comparing that to the Holocaust, and I lived through the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
Are you out of your effing mind?
Yeah.
Again, that's an opinion, but it's a stupid opinion, and it's wrong. But
she didn't say that. It was AI. It was AI generated.
Somebody hacked her blog.
Damn Russians.
Reid knocked Major League Baseball for its lack of diversity, citing it only had 6%, or citing 6% of its players are black. That is a true statement and a true metric. Although what she did, she completely missed the simple fact that the NFL is 59% black and the NBA is 71% black. Now, when you take, like we've done on the show before, when you take the percentage of blacks in the U.S., which comes in around 18%, okay, but you want to talk about diversity or equal representation, but yet you have NFL's 59% black. Does that mean we need to kick out all the blacks except for 18% so we can have true diversity? Or we have to kick all the blacks out of NBA except for 18%, because they're 71% of the NBA.
Well, I like the whole lack of diversity for the 6% of black people that play baseball. How about all of the people from overseas? You have Chinese players now. You have Japanese players now. You also have people that are Spanish from, you've got, just trying to think, there's a couple of Brazilian players. You have some that are from like Puerto Rico,
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I mean, baseball is the most diversified out of any sport that's out there. Even soccer. Soccer's pretty diverse, but
soccer is pretty diverse. It's got
a
lot of so. But what I find funny is, so a sports team is going to hire or put under contract the people that they have the best chance of winning.
And the ones that are going to draw the most amount of a crowd.
Right. And so if I'm a racist, okay, and I own let's just say a baseball team, but I want to get a few black players in because they're faster or whatever that may be. I'm going to hire them because I want to win.
Right.
I might be racist, but I'm all about but racism has nothing to do with that green color.
Right.
And as much as people may be racist, they're more their greed will take over racism any day. And so they will put people in place that gives them the best chance to win.
That is just so funny. Because the thing with Major League Baseball is the fact that they actually look at talent all over the world.
Yes.
It's not like football or the NBA. Well, the NBA actually has talent, too, that comes from overseas. But, yeah, I mean, baseball is the most diverse sport that's out there. I mean, I'm sorry for only the 6% being black, but yeah, it's not all white people that are playing baseball.
Like football has rules or in their process that you have to come through college, this and the other. Baseball is actually, I think basketball does a little bit, but they have to go through different leagues.
Right.
Baseball, as far as I know, is the only organized sport where they actually,
I could draft
on their own dollar, go to other countries to find talent.
Right. I can draft you right out of high school.
Yes. So it's like she's an idiot. Would you take the next one, because I know that's one of your favorites too.
All right, November 2024, and another Thanksgiving tirade. Reid accuses Republicans of worshiping Trump, quote unquote, instead of Jesus, in a bizarre rant where she told members of the MAGA crowd to, and again, quote unquote, make your own Thanksgiving dinner. Love that one.
Now, we're getting ready to show the video clip of it. Now, you want to talk about a narcissist? Okay. I was the only white guy on our basketball team. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Dutch, how's it going?
Dutch.
So you're going to, in this next clip of her, you are going to see narcissism at its best, because she thinks she's so blessed that, I'm going to pull my stuff or like myself away from you, and that's your punishment.
Right.
Yeah, you skank. Drink again.
Drink again.
But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala, to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it.
Tofurkey?
Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving. Our choice.
I'm sorry, who won the election?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that let's go to the one where she talks about whining. That's what the fuck you just did, you dumb skank. Drink again.
Drink again.
But this narcissistic, demeanor that she has, that like, oh, you expect us to give you, I don't want, nobody wants shit from you. You stupid bitch. Nobody wants shit from you.
I would love to know the percentage of the entirety of, I guess, the population, not just black, not just white, but everybody, to see how many people agree with the rhetoric that she spouted out there.
And believe me, and let me tell you something there, sweetheart. So you're saying 92? There was more than 8% of the black women that voted for Trump than 8%. Now, it wasn't like 40 or this stuff, but it was more than 8%. I think it was like 12 to 15%. So right there, you're wrong. Number two, nobody wants anything from you. That's narcissism at its best. Oh, you expect us to do this and do that or give you no, nobody wants. Number one, I don't want you at my Thanksgiving table because I don't want to look at your ugly ass. Number two, I don't want to hear your damn mouth. I mean, shut up. Can't stand that skank.
Drink again.
Drink again.
Reid admitted she was fine with Kamala Harris selecting Tim Walz as her running mate because, while he is white, he is not mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread white like other potential white candidates.
Okay, number one, Tim Walz is as white as they come.
Redneck.
Number two, if a white person was to say that so-and-so was as black as licorice or something, they would be fired in 30 seconds.
They would be stone dead in the streets.
Yeah. But yet, she can say, well, I don't really care what she says because she's at least on this aspect, because she's talking about Tim Walz, who's a jackass. But again, I'm all about hypocrisy. And if anybody else would, especially conservatives, said anything close to that, they'd be running out of town. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
But just for the record, Tim Walz he is mayonnaise white, Wonder Bread white. Tim Walz. November 2024, Reid falsely claimed President Trump wanted reparations for white people.
For what? What the hell do white people deserve?
She's so full of shit. So again, now we have another clip where Ms. Reid is really saying that she's going to tell you that the white liberal women or whatever, don't include us black people in your trying to take over or trying to reestablish the Democratic Party and this, that, and the other, because we don't care about white people now at this point. We only care about black people, and we're going to focus on black people at all. So watch this. Again, her racist ass. Skank. There we go. Here you go.
Pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends, because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and Prioritize Black Communities, Black Businesses, and that. And, you know, the black spaces, but Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
What the hell just happened?
Well, see here, Miss Reid.
Oh my God.
Part of the problem is, let's just go along with that for a minute. The problem there, Ms. Reid, is you aren't supporting black businesses. You're not supporting other black men, for sure, because she even has a problem with black men, if you watch some of her stuff. And, you know, like take your WNBA, which is promoting, it's like you got a couple black white girls, rest of them are all black. Do you support the WNBA there, Ms. Reid? Because I tell you, they keep losing money. They run at a deficit, like a $10 million deficit every year. And if it wasn't for the NBA, the WNBA wouldn't exist because they fund them.
Right.
So you supporting that there, Ms. Reid? I could tell you're not promoting any black women hair businesses. I don't see any braids or anything else, so you're not doing that. I guarantee your clothes are not made by black people. Probably guaranteed. Jewelry, probably not so much. So just next time, give us a list of the black businesses and black people specifically you're supporting, because I'd like to see that.
That's crazy. Jesus Christ. January of 2025, Reid claimed immigration and customs enforcement raids under President Trump were performative, promoting border czar Tom Homan to call her dumber than a box of rocks.
She is dumb as a box of rocks. Now, this video clip, now here's the, okay. Not only does she not just simply address a problem that she feels that there are, she decides that she's going to bring other shit into it that makes even less sense than she normally does. And so what she's doing now, she is comparing the evacuation of the Florida residents for, I can't remember what this latest hurricane was that really devastated everything. And them and the Carolinas, right? She's comparing those people evacuating to illegal immigrants coming over the border. Basically saying it's the same thing. That you shouldn't just put illegal immigrants down because you never know. And all these Florida people and all these Carolinians took off. No difference. I'm telling you, this is how stupid this skank is.
And you drink again. And you wonder why the world looks at America as like, what the hell? What the hell is going on over there?
I know. So check her out again.
Be careful about attacking people who have to move to save their own lives and safety, because you never know when it's your people that have to move, when it's your people who have to migrate, when it's your people who have to get on that road.
Now, like I said, she had just did a piece or talking about a piece about the Florida and Carolinas evacuating, and then she compared that to illegal immigrants and stuff. Megan Dog loves rocks.
I'm a rock collector.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. She also said Trump makes women feel like he wants to force them, quote unquote, to have children by sexual assault. Now, who the hell? When the hell did he ever say that?
He never did. He never. It's just. Oh my gosh. She is dumb as a box rat. She's dumb as a bag of hammers. The fact that again, but she has to come up with this bullshit.
What was that on her head?
Oh yeah, she changes hairstyles, and some of it just looks. Yeah, some of it just looks. Look.
Be careful about
I don't know
attacking
what
people
that
who
is.
have to move to save their own lives and safety, because you never know when it's your people that have to move, when it's your people who have to migrate, when it's your people who have to get on that road.
Yeah, you know what? It almost looked kind of like she was trying to imitate Trump there for a second. She didn't have enough hair, but so yeah, just Trump never said that. Which a lot of women, especially her, she touts this whole thing about that women don't have access to contraception or health, and that's bullshit because it's not the states. But I find it funny that when she talks about him talking, all the sexual assault, it's funny that because she's a big promoter of abortion, and if you look at who created Planned Parenthood, which is Margaret Sanger, her whole, which we could probably even do some of this history stuff. Margaret Sanger, and you can look it up on YouTube or on Google. Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthood, and opened them in black communities because she wanted to reduce the amount of black babies or black babies being born and having more black people in the world. And that came straight out of her mouth. You could go Google it. And Margaret Sanger is the one that came up with Planned Parenthood. But yet, so many of the black women, they talk about my choice of abortion. Well, okay, but just let you know that the person that created Planned Parenthood was a complete, absolute racist, and actually she wanted to basically euthanize black babies so that they wouldn't grow up, and then I think you can even look at it where she talks about that way they don't infect our country. Go look it up. Go Google it. Jackass. You're a fucking idiot. Jace. Go ahead. Last one.
Before her firing, Joy Reid laughed on air over parents fearing for their daughter's safety following the death of Laken Riley.
Yeah, so there were some people that, because of illegals that weren't tracked, there were in neighborhoods that you had no idea they were there, because even if they would just stay with a family member or something, nobody had to show any ID to say rent this apartment or so forth and so on. And so there were some people that addressed safety for their daughters because of what happened to Lincoln Riley, the fact she was killed, mutilated and killed by an illegal immigrant. And she laughed on air, saying it was just ridiculous. I would love for her to be in a room and go up to Lincoln Riley's parents and say that to them and laugh in their face. I would love to see that. And then I would love to see either Mr. Riley or Mrs. Riley haul off and knock the shit out of her. But
this is the one. Look, right here. Where is it? This one. Right here, this picture of the tears, which when on her last show, which was about a night or two, keep on fighting the good fight is what she said. And this is the only time that you've ever seen tears run down her face.
And she was upset, and she said that this was a travesty because her show had value, and it brought value.
Talk about inciting racism.
Yeah. I'm glad she got fired. She should have been fired a long time ago. And hopefully, The View is not too far behind. Then we can call it the rear view.
Oh, what are we doing, America? What the hell are we doing? course, then you can't forget the knockdown drag out with Trump and
Zelensky. Yeah, we wanted to just speak on that a little bit. So go. So for those of you that don't know, there's also a little history behind that. It wasn't just what happened in the Oval Office. So Ed, would you care to, while I eat a beef stick, would you care to enlighten us on the little bit of the history behind that pile of shit?
Well, there were talks about doing, and this I just kind of found out. We all knew that there were talks about having the doing something with the mining of the minerals over in why can't I think? Ukraine. Thank you. And so the whole thing that was supposed to be signed was the fact that, first off, America has no skin in the game. There is not a damn thing that we have in this game between Russia and the Ukraine. Nothing. So what Trump was coming up with was a plan to start a trust where we would come over, meaning America, would come over and mine all the materials that are in the earth over in Ukraine, and apparently it's a lot of them. So what they were going to do is they were going to do a trust that all the money that came out of the ground would go into this trust. America would take half, and then the Ukraine would take the other half. Now, the other thing with that, too, is the fact that just because we're taking half, it's only on the profit, has nothing to do with paying us back. So that money is still owed. So with that being said, we have the money. We have the technology to be able to safely pull everything out of the ground. So then, of course, now we would have an interest over there. So, you want to talk about having somebody back you up? Have American soldiers and our people over there digging stuff out of the ground, not only to help America, but also to help the Ukraine as well. Then you got skin in the game. But this whole thing pretty much fell apart in the last, I guess it was 10 minutes. So I don't know. I'm just confused over this whole situation. But I did have to laugh when you see the Ukrainian, I guess, secretary.
Yeah.
Not good.
So the funny thing is, this negotiation has been happening for the last month or so. Okay. Zelensky had turned down that twice before this Oval Office meeting. Twice. All right. So President Trump was going to bring it up as in, here's kind of what we're doing, and then his plan was, and we're still talking about it, and we're going to discuss it. Zelensky decided that he was gonna pull his big boy pants up and just say no, we're not doing that in front of everybody and their mother. That's when Vice President J.D. Vance got. He's like, okay, I don't think we need to hash this out in front of the world, in front of the media and stuff. And Zelensky became even more indignant. And Trump was like, okay, whoa. Because here's the thing. Zelensky has no bargaining power with Russia at all. And Zelensky was actually upset that Trump was trying to get along with Putin so he could negotiate. You dumbass. And like Ed said, we have no skin in the game. There is nothing we're going to have with Russia. No, no economic, agreement, like, resources or anything else with them, right? Because number one, we don't want it. Number two, it's not advantageous to us. But like Ed said, if we're in Ukraine and we have U.S. companies in there pulling stuff out of the ground, which you get half of, because that stuff you guys can't even bring. They said it would increase Ukraine's GDP by 80% by us doing all the work and giving them half the money. What more do you want? And we've already dropped I think it was 120 some billion that we've given to Ukraine,
which they can't account for.
Which they cannot account for. And it's like, bruh, not only is it not that, we're saying, hey, you're going to get half of it. That's all yours.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still like, blah, 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 blah. I just need more money and this and the other. And by the way, like we've said here before, meanwhile, Zelensky's wife is living in Helsinki, and she's whining and dining and stuff, and he's taking a private jet over to her every other 2 seconds on this money that supposedly is no longer, or they can't find.
Right. Meanwhile, his country is dying. All the men and women that are out there fighting. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And like you said, and by the way, Zelensky's people, the Ukrainians, are out there dying and fighting, and Zelensky's over here playing freaking bullshit games. And Zelensky's like, and he started bitching like, I want to be in the room when you guys are negotiating.
I wouldn't want him in the hallway.
No. Yeah, exactly. And Trump's trying to tell him, look, with you there, we have no bargaining power. He says, I'm talking to Putin. And oh, by the way, I'm sorry if this offends you, but basically, we're talking superpower to superpower. Because you got no, you got skin in the game at your country, but you got no negotiating power at all. You're like this little chihuahua is over there barking. So Trump's saying, look, I'm trying to get this to a point of peace. Not about adding more money to your military, not bringing in more weapons, but to negotiate peace, to stop the fighting on both sides. And Zelensky's, trying to play this martyr.
Well, he is having a meeting with the UK.
Oh yeah, the UK was, and I'm sorry if we have people watching from the UK over there, but the UK, he was all of their prime minister was all of kissing his ass, Zelensky's, and it's like, bruh, whatever, hey, and that's fine, and they were talking about how more European countries were kind of embracing Zelensky. You know what? That's fine. Tell you what, the U.S. will pull all the fuck out. We'll pull all our money out. This and the other. The Europeans, y'all can go fund him. You can send your people over there. Y'all can do all the hell you want, and we'll just come back over here and just have a lemonade, sit down and slice a pizza, and watch the shit unfold if you want. What does it say? And there we have the problem. We are talking about you, not with you. Our terms only. Say whatever you want, but how is that fair? Okay, Dutch. I know Dutch isn't, because Zelensky has no way. Zelensky has no bargaining power. Zelensky is going to go in there and tell. And oh, by the way, the 200 Ukrainians in their military that got killed, they were over in Russia. So what a lot of people don't seem to understand, and maybe they do or maybe they don't, but Zelensky has not only tried to push Russia back, he's actually entered into Russia territory. So it's not just, hey, I'm trying to protect Ukraine. He's actually pushed in. He's pushed in like 100 and some miles. Y'all need to go look that up. It's like Europe and Canada negotiating about Texas with Texas. Come on. Hey, Dutch, I agree with you. But my point is this. Zelensky cannot negotiate anything. And if he doesn't want Trump negotiating, because if Trump, because again, Putin is a nutbag, and Putin is a tyrant, and he's this. Putin does not respect Zelensky for shit. And if Zelensky is in these meetings, he's just going to piss Putin off, and Putin's I'm going to keep on doing it. Because what we're trying to do is the U.S. number one doesn't put forward any more money, or God forbid that we have to send troops over there just to keep this shit from happening for going into World War III. I don't want to either. I don't want to pay my fucking tax money over there for that stupid ass, and I don't want to have to go over there. We've already done that. We've been there, done that. I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq. We're fighting for people who fucking hate our ass and spit on us any fucking time they get. But yet we got to go over there and calm the storm because that's because of whatever interest they think we may have.
But I do like Dutch's point. It's their country, not Trump's, and especially not Putin's. I agree with you. I just think that, I don't know. I think, and just like you had stated, I agree with you 100%, is the fact that he's just trying to make peace. I think that, quite frankly, that Trump is the one and only person that has enough balls to stand up against Putin. So it's just like, what was that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's keep your friends close and your enemies even closer. Yeah.
So the problem is Trump doesn't want Zelensky, who cannot negotiate. That's the problem. Trump doesn't want Zelensky to go in there and somehow pull the U.S. into a bigger role in this thing, because we've already dropped almost $200 billion of Americans' tax money for him to just go waste it because he doesn't know what he's doing as far as battle plans. Now, and again, I understand what you're saying about Kursk. I mean, I get it. But the point is, he doesn't have a leg to stand on if Putin says, well, now you've invaded my country. I know it's tit for tat and it's bullshit because Putin invaded his country. I get it. But when Putin said, "Hey, we're trying to get peace, but you've now pulled a couple hundred miles into my country," and Zelensky's going to say, "What? Well, because you invaded me, now I'm invading you." I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, the other thing too, it's almost like Putin was the bully in this whole situation,
right?
And he started, hypothetically beating the shit out of the Ukraine, and all of a sudden the Ukraine fights back, and it's like, whoa, look what you did to me. Not what I did to you to start this whole thing, but look, you hit me this time.
Yeah.
But what actually started this whole thing? I heard it was something about a pipeline. Is that correct? Something about a pipeline, and
well, it was just if you remember when Obama was in, remember Putin invaded and took over Crimea.
Right.
Crimea is still under Russian rule, or it's part of Russia. Putin is one of these egomaniacs that he still thinks back to the USSR.
Gotcha.
When all these countries were part of, well, not Russia, but USSR at that point. And that's what Putin thinks Russia deserves and or should be. So the fact that when he took over Crimea, he's like, okay, well, now I'm going to go take over Ukraine. And so, well, I mean, and people could say, and then when Biden got in there, he's like, okay, well, he's not strong enough. I'm going to go do it. I don't know. Trump is not a fan of Zelensky. I get that. And I'm not saying that has anything to do with he's not a fan. The problem is Zelensky's trying to get in there and negotiate, and he has nothing to bring to the table to negotiate for or with. What Zelensky can negotiate with is America's money and America's power. That's the problem. So Trump's like, hey, I'm not going to have you go negotiate with Putin on your own. Now, granted, I guess all three of them could be together. But again, Zelensky's going to try to leverage U.S. power, however do you want to say, money, our weapons, or even possibly try to even pull in our military and say, hey, I'll get the military backing from the U.S. if you don't back off. And we don't want to get pulled into this shit any more than we already have.
Thank you, Dutch. Oops. Thank you, Dutch, by the way, for that last comment. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I heard something
it was
about
after
a pipeline.
It was after the war started. And, and also, again, Russia came in and started snipping communication lines, too. That was Russia as well. I mean, Dutch, and I get where you're coming from. I really do. And it's not like nobody understands who Putin is.
That was a different one before that.
So nobody has any. We're not naive to know who Putin is. The problem is if Zelensky is kind of barking like a little chihuahua, to be honest, because he's got nothing to back it up with. He's got Now, granted, he took it to Putin in the beginning. Putin thought he was just going to walk all over him, and Ukraine came in there and kicked him in his ass. But unfortunately, Ukraine cannot outlast Russia. because they don't have the money, they don't have the military power, and they don't have this and the other. So they're going to try to pull some power from somewhere. Now, if Europe wants to completely back Zelensky monetarily and militarily, then fine, and then we can back out and this, that, and the other, and then they can negotiate that. But right now, nobody in Europe has stepped up to want to even try to negotiate this thing. Yeah. My big thing is this: I don't want the Ukrainian people to keep getting killed, but at the end of the day, I do not want us to get pulled into this shit because Zelensky doesn't know how to negotiate and he wants to run his mouth. That is my only thing. And if they can accomplish that for whatever and however, have at it.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm just thinking out loud is, as far as Europe's concerned, I would want to back the Ukraine simply because if Russia comes in and marches right through the Ukraine, where are they going to go next? You know what I mean? Where are they going to go?
But you still have people like Germany, and I think there's another or two countries that are buying power from Russia.
Right.
And that's why Trump got all pissed off. He says, why am I part of the UN? Number two, why am I putting hundreds of billions of dollars into the UN to quote unquote, the UN's supposed to be this wall of, democracy against Russia and maybe even China, when you're buying power from Russia.
Right.
So, I don't know. It's so convoluted now. And like I said, again, if Trump says, okay, you know what, Zelensky, I'm out, go negotiate. But again, I don't want Zelensky to try to pull us in and try to use us as his backup to go negotiate and end up causing a whole nother freaking war.
Yeah, that's like picking a fight with a guy and then say you're going to get your bigger brother to come back and kick his ass.
That's true. But like this whole thing with Ed was talking about, if Zelensky would sign this agreement, and now, quote unquote, Ukraine now has United States interests in there, and we put our people in there. I mean, Putin can talk all the shit he wants, but Putin is not going to attack Ukraine if the U.S. is actually established, like we're actually there, and say, no, you don't come in here. Now they're under our protection. It could be. But here's my point. Out of anybody, and maybe the European Union or the whatever it is, whatever, maybe they could stand up. But who else is going to stand up to Putin to where he will respect anything that's even said or negotiated? It's not Ukraine. If the European Union wants to back Ukraine up, by all means, go. I just don't want it to be us. That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually surprised that Biden didn't somehow try to get us more involved in that.
I know.
I have a feeling he probably would have if he would have made it a second term.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And like I said, and I don't think that Trump is going to be so quick, or I don't think he would put us or quick and pull the trigger and put us into another war.
Right.
But I've already been to Iraq where the people spit on you and don't hate your. I mean, come to you and fucking just hate and tell you they hate your guts. In Iraq, same thing. I was in Yemen trying to prevent stuff. Same thing. People spitting on me, saying they hate my guts. I'm over there for you. You think I want to be over here? This is fucking bullshit. Over here sweating my ass off, saying up getting shot at, this, that, and the other for your fucking ass, and then you're going to spit on me? And I'm kind of one of those people just like, fuck everybody. Pull it back. Y'all worry about yourself, and fuck it. Y'all, the rest of the world, y'all work all your shit out and leave us the fuck alone. I don't think I would ever get to that point, but sometimes it sounds pretty good for me to say fuck everybody because because I've been there, and it's people hate your guys. No matter if you're there to help them or not.
Right.
Anyway.
I close.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're to be honest, Dutch, we're not that bad here, but I mean, you've got Texas, who decided to go all in on wind turbines, and they had natural gas and some other stuff. They pulled all that out, went straight wind turbine, and when we had an event where it froze the wind turbines, stopped. They had no power at all, and it was I can't remember what it was. Kind of a smaller city in North Texas, but they had nothing, no power, no nothing, for like weeks and weeks, because those turbines didn't thaw out. Stupid.
All takes oil.
Well, yeah, but that's when I went over there. It's irrelevant who's under who's whatever it was. What I'm saying is, the U.S. has put people in other countries for quote unquote U.S. interests sometimes, and quote unquote not so much, just to supposedly in some places. Well, I know when I was in Yemen, it was supposed to stop the spread of terrorism, whatever. But yeah. No, it's not so much in. Yeah, it was under Bush, but it's irrelevant who it was under. My point is, we've been other places and been to other countries and fought other wars for other people just to be spit on. And I'll just wrap it up with this last piece. So when we're talking about we're over there fighting for everybody else, right? Which we are, especially in Afghanistan, right? Afghanistan, the Afghanis are the police and stuff. They're sympathizers with it, and here's how you know why, or everybody is over there. Here's how you know why, because when you saw go watch the films, or go look at the pictures on Google, when they did the withdrawal that Biden did, which he effed up, but when you saw that big C-5A
with everybody hanging off of it,
and there was tons of supposedly quote unquote Afghan refugees on there, go look at the film. And go look at the picture. You won't see hardly any women at all. And another thing you don't see, children and old men. Almost, I'd say probably 80% of the people that are on that plane as quote-unquote refugees are young men. So you tell me, where's all the women at and other stuff? Because I know I've been in I don't know how many villages and nomad camps over in Iraq and Afghanistan where terrorists, like ISIS and Al-Qaeda and all that will come in and rape their women, and they won't do a thing about it. And you'll get like 10 ISIS guys come in, and you got a whole village of dudes, probably like 70, 80 of them. And they'll just let them come in and they won't do a thing. And I know some people say, well, they're terrorists, so they're barbaric, and they're this, that, and the other, and stuff. I tell you what, I sure as hell rather die trying to save my my wife and kids and family and village than to sit there and let them run right through and rape my wife right in front of me and right in front of her kids. And that happened. I hate to even tell you how often that happened. But anyway, that's it. All I'm saying is, yeah. So if they want to bring Zelensky in, bring him in. I think he'll hinder the negotiations more than help. But if that's the road they want to go, fine. Just don't pull us in it. That's all I'm saying. Don't pull me in it. Well, I'm too old now, but I can go over there and teach those young whippersnappers a thing or two about shit. But yeah, just don't pull us in it. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Dutch, thank you very much. Megadog, thank you very much. Great conversation.
Now screw Rodri. He'd rather go listen to some old 80s DJ than the
cool group.
The greatness of
the cool group.
Yeah.
The nerve.
The nerve of some people.
All right, everybody. Thank you to our armed forces, retired, currently, all of the men and women in the fire department, in the police that stick their neck out for us every single day. And keep an eye out for this one. We will be doing our second show within probably in the next 10 minutes, and it will be released on Thursday. So yes. Thank you all for another show. We will be back on the air in 2 weeks, and we'll see what other chaos we can create. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
We're out. Peace. And make sure you check this out. Damn it.
Yeah.
I want to see the downloads go up to like 50 million. Yeah, from like one. Anyway, that's it. We're gonna record this. Like I said, it'll be out on Thursday morning. Actually, it comes out Thursday morning, like when you wake up. But they're 6 hours ahead, so it might be about noon for them. So look for this. You can catch this podcast everywhere. Everywhere.
And he does mean everywhere.
Spotify, all the podcasts, Apple or iTunes, whatever you want to call it, Deezer, D's Nuts, and everywhere else. So we will see you. And where's my buttons? Say bye.
See you guys. Thank you.
Hey, that's fine. I mean, I understood exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I could.
He's
see
not.
that
He's